Welcome to today's NRRA School Recycling Club Trash on the Lawn Day training module, how to plan and perform a school-wide waste audit. Welcome community educators and environmental ambassadors. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about NRRA Club programs. Development of this presentation is credited in part to the USDA Rural Development Programs. The program goals are to cross-train solid waste facility operators and school staff in rural communities of New Hampshire and Vermont, so that each group is equally well versed in the importance of indoor air quality, proper supply purchasing, such as no VOC paints and cleaning supplies, toxic substance handling, storage, and disposal. 2. To take down the wall that can exist between town and schools by encouraging increased cooperation in waste reduction and pollution prevention programs that benefit the entire community. And 3. Expand participation in NRRA's education programs through online learning. Thanks to the USDA Rural Utility Rural Development Service, the program training is free. The goal of the program is for trained participants to work together on creating a safer environment, knowledgeable staff on the proper storage and handling of hazardous materials, and working in conjunction on solid waste issues. After viewing the webinar, please complete the webinar evaluation to help us understand your knowledge of solid and hazardous waste. Once you submit the evaluation, you will receive a confirmation email with a certificate of completion. You will need to email us in order to receive the evaluation link for this webinar. You can email info@nrra.net. If you encounter any difficulties or have any questions, please send us an email or call us anytime. You can reach us at 603-736-4401 or email info@nrra.net. About NRRA. In 1981, 4 New Hampshire municipalities founded the New Hampshire Resource Recovery Association. It was then amended in 1995 to be the Northeast Resource Recovery Association, as a clearinghouse for relevant information, as a source of education in the field of solid waste management, as a cooperative agent with state, regional, and local government agencies, and as a market development service. We are primarily in the Northeast, assisting communities by offering advice in the marketplace for the entire solid waste management stream. Everything from trash to construction and demolition debris, to freon removal, to recycling and contracts with your individual material vendors. We are your one-stop shop for all things recycling. We have an awesome school recycling club program that spans the nation and offers K-12 classroom workshops, technical assistance for supervisors and school administrators. The club produces a monthly newsletter. We also recently published curricula that ties resource recovery lesson plans with the National Commons Core standards, which you are able to contact us about if you're interested in those. We also put on an annual school recycling conference. As previously mentioned, the School Recycling Club offers a wide range of workshops and school technical assistance programs that are designed to help schools improve recycling, waste reduction, clean out harmful chemicals, and evaluate trash and recycling practices. Check out the website for descriptions of workshops and pricing, schoolrecycling.net. It is worth noting that all New Hampshire schools receive free membership to the club and are eligible for program discounts thanks to a grant from New Hampshire the Beautiful. Also want to note, just like this training module here for Trash on the Lawn Day, all of these technical assistance and workshops will be available in webinar form on the website. So check out the website and you'll be able to view these webinars. That will kind of give you a better idea for what we offer for programming. Since this is a town and gown production sponsored by USDA, I wanted to share with you the operator training programs offered by NRRA. We call them MOM meetings, or Members Operators Marketing Monthly Meetings. They are for facility operators and volunteers to meet and discuss waste industry topics. Among the school workshops just mentioned, solid waste facility operator trainings will be available to both operators and educators as part of the grant's effort to cross-train the two. These trainings will be available online to view and eligible for professional development credit. We have Operator Smackdown, Things That Go Boom, Vermont Act 148, the Dirt on Dirt, composting, and processed glass aggregate, a certified waste-derived product, and then China Sword, current marketing trends in recycling. The annual conference and expo is a two-day event jam-packed with workshops, speakers, exhibits, and more. The second day of the conference combines solid waste professional training with activities and workshops for students and school staff. So we'll now go into the training module to learn more about how to conduct a Trash on the Lawn Day, which is a thought-provoking service learning project that assesses the school's waste management issues and opportunities for improvement while fostering student leadership. Under the NRRA School Recycling CLUB's guidance, student leaders organize a waste sort of an entire day's worth of trash. This tool for positive change examines waste management practices, purchasing policies, hauling agreements, and diversion opportunities. A T.O.L.D. consists of envisioning and audit planning, the audit, and presentation of the results and action plan. T.O.L.d.s often draw media attention and can become an annual event to track progress towards sustainable, cost-effective methods of school waste management. So why conduct a Trash on the Lawn Day in the first place? Well, it is good for leadership development, service to your school community, grow your environmental club, learn about important environmental issues, collect baseline data regarding waste, generation, and management, use data to target improvements on campus, and a great addition to your college application and resume. So here's an outline of what we will be reviewing today. We're going to talk about the planning process with a core group, setting goals, short and long term, identifying stakeholders, volunteers, custodial staff, etc. Job assignments, such as promotion, day before, day of, and cleanup. Selecting a location, materials needed, actually doing the waste audit and what to expect, then presenting the results of the audit and just general best practices, tips, and techniques. So now we'll talk about planning for a Trash on the Lawn Day. Now generally, NRRA staff meet with schools 2 to 3 weeks before an event. And we'll meet with principal, custodians, student volunteers, teacher leaders, the main people who will be helping us organize this event. Now, we'll also be talking about why should we do a waste audit, or think about why does your school want to do one? What do you want to accomplish? What are the lessons that you want to teach? Develop an action plan by thinking about short and long-term goals. How will we reach them? What's the timeline for action after the T.O.L.D. event is done? Or timeline between the planning meeting and the T.O.L.D. event. How will we know if we've reached our goals? It's also useful to find out, if you don't already know, who your waste hauler is or who picks up the trash and recycling and what is accepted or not accepted. This will help when explaining to the students who will be doing the waste audit what exactly is accepted or not. And you can do that by either talking to your custodian who might know, the administrators who pay the waste hauler bills, and also just calling up the waste hauler company to ask any questions or to find out maybe if your school is sorting the wrong materials or making any mistakes in recycling. So setting goals, it's an important thing to do before and after the T.O.L.D. event. If the school doesn't have any goals for waste, then it's hard to know where to start or justify why holding a T.O.L.D. is important. So some examples of short-term goals are to start a recycling program at your school. Maybe you don't have one yet. Maybe it's very minimal and you want to expand it. To start composting pre-consumer organic waste, which means sorting out scraps from the kitchen prep area before going ahead and having the entire school cafeteria sort out compost. And that's if you're composting. Replace milk cartons with recyclable plastic jugs. Encourage students to bring less waste from home in lunches. Replace plastic utensils with biodegradable ones if there's a way to compost them. And increase awareness of already existing composting program and expose problems with contamination. Raise money for the environmental club to fund outreach initiatives. Or build a greenhouse. Now those are some of the short-term goals. Long-term goals include reaching a 95% recycling rate, launch a post-consumer composting program, which means getting the students scraping their plates into the right bin for composting and diverting the food waste, purchase a bulk milk dispenser for the cafeteria, establish a zero waste agenda for all lunches, purchase metal utensils, increase organics diversion to a 95% rate and eliminate contamination completely, renegotiate the school's hauling contract to better reflect the needs and values of waste diversion, and develop a closed-loop system including a greenhouse, compost, and local foods menu. Now these are just examples of goals. You don't have to follow any of these, you can follow some of them. They're just some ideas out there for schools to think about when asking why should we have a T.O.L.D. or what's the justification for holding a T.O.L.D. So identifying stakeholders, this is important. Gathering support and recruiting champions and volunteers for a T.O.L.D. is vital for a successful event. A planning meeting will help assign tasks for the lead up to the event and roles for day of tasks. Letting the principal know expectations for the day is also important so all teachers can be properly informed. So after the core group has outlined their action plan, hold a well-advertised T.O.L.D. planning meeting, as I talked about, for all those interested in helping out. And again, this includes interested club members, student volunteers, adult advisors, teachers, head grounds custodial staff members, and if possible, the principal. So you want to get them on board. Other stakeholders, administrators, maintenance staff, business managers, community members, and organizations, such as your solid waste district if you have one, or your transfer station, and other teachers. So job assignments. So pre-T.O.L.D. jobs, so marketing, publicity, who's going to be generating excitement for the event if you want to advertise for it beforehand, making signs, posters, press alert, release writers, media contactor, label makers, material finders, custodian reminder to hold 1 day of trash minus bathroom or medical waste. It's important to get them on board and remind them to set aside the waste. And day of events, waste sorters, helpers, one MC, so get a student who's into drama, or you can get the drama club involved, tour guides, data weighers, data collectors, photo or videographer. So if it's a high school or a school that has another club, they can participate. Definitely include other clubs. Litter collectors if windy, and custodial helpers. Teachers can also assist with handing out gloves, 2 for sorters, 1 for bin monitors, Teachers are welcome to participate in the sort or assist in coaching students. Leading up to the event, teachers may want to incorporate recycling topics into their daily assignment. Students could be encouraged to make posters or set up bulletin board about recycling. They might be allowed to make daily announcements with recycling facts and figures. Some schools may set up a competition between classes or groups. And after the event, teachers might ask students what they learned, if they were surprised, and what they might do differently, which we'll talk about for after. The location of a T.O.L.D. is important because you don't want it to be in the way, but also in a visual place so that students and staff can view the event. Is it a windy location, away from the leach field? All of these things should be considered in the site selection. And be sure to select a Plan B location in case of bad weather. So again, looking for a visual place. Where's the logical place to separate the waste with regards to moving trash and cleaning up? Are the dumpsters nearby? Is there a hose available? An electrical outlet if we're using a computer to collect data? Be sure your posters, flyers, and announcements include the date and location of the waste audit. Again, if you're trying to advertise for it, if you're trying to make it kind of a surprise and not have students be aware that they're supposed to be thinking about recycling, then you wouldn't want to advertise. And then don't forget appropriate clothes. Again, no open-toed or high-heeled shoes. Jeans are recommended, and dress for the weather, because we've experienced all kinds of weather for this event. Materials needed. So NRRA, if we're doing the event for the school, if we're hired to do the event, we will bring these materials. And also we will provide the materials if you're putting on the event, and contract us for the materials as well. But this is generally what we need. 5-gallon buckets, tarps, weights for the corners or ground anchors through grommets, rubber, garden gloves, and aprons. We also now use recyclable gloves. They're disposable, but we found a company that recycles gloves, which is great. Signs for each category: trash, paper, compost, etc. Large plastic bags to weigh trash and recycling before and after. Writing utensils and markers. Tape and paper to label the bags. Data collection sheets to find categories of all recyclables. Clipboards, table and chair for recording weights on a computer. Trash, of course, so 1 day of school waste, and reminder, no bathroom or medical waste. Scales, common household is fine. Volunteers, in work clothes and closed-toed shoes. Canopy or pop-up tent if it's rainy, or alternative indoor location. And perhaps snow fencing if it's windy. So doing the waste audit. Setup should occur at least 1 hour from the start of the event. Place your tarp, set up your bags and signs, set out gloves and aprons, weigh station, set up a tent or canopy if needed. And again, hopefully you'll have some student volunteers. When the first group arrives, have the students make a horseshoe around the tarp so that they can see you or whoever is speaking. Introduce yourself and other staff and volunteers and the helpers. And a script should be available with notes about why it is important to keep recycling out of the landfill, or start out by asking why they think it's important depending on the age group. Assign volunteer monitors for each bin so that they make sure the right material is ending up in the appropriate spot. And then review the separate bins and labels, show examples of what will go into each bin and any special collections. Review what is not acceptable according to the school waste hauler. Also assign students to weigh bags before and after sorting and enter the data. Select student volunteers to sort the trash, and they can also swap out in case there's too many students. So some will be monitoring, some will be weighing, others will be collecting flyaway trash. Weigh bags and empty trash onto the tarps. When collection bins are full, have the monitors or adult volunteers swap them out. And again, note, allow at least 1 hour before the final bell to clean up and pack materials for storage. See if there are student volunteers to help clean up. Okay, so presenting the results of the data collected from your trash on the lawn day. So if your students and staff properly weighed and sorted out everything, then we'll have some interesting data to look at. This is a sample data sheet. All the data collected is entered onto a computer spreadsheet that NRRA has that has current commodity values, which will be provided by NRRA. So if you're wondering what the commodity values are for paper, plastic, steel, whichever, NRRA will have those available. The final data sheet will show both pounds and percentages of trash and recyclables. It will also show the value of the recyclables and the potential annual savings if all recyclables are diverted from the waste stream. So it estimates cost or potential savings depending on what the commodity values are at or what the material is worth at that time if it were being sold on the market, and then total year potential savings. So this can be a useful tool when presenting the results to your school. You can have an event that'll present the results. You can announce it over the morning announcements. You can hold a school-wide event, have your students in math class or science class make charts and tables from this information. There's really a lot you can do with this. So presenting the results and sharing the results with your school is really important, because then they'll be able to see the efforts from the trash on the lawn day in a useful form, and it will hopefully spur some action on increasing recycling and reducing waste at school. Most schools are surprised by the amount of heavy organic food waste in their trash. This is a great opportunity to promote a food waste diversion or composting program. And once the audit is complete, what do the results of the audit suggest is the biggest opportunity for positive change? What is the best way to convey the results of the audit to the entire school community? Again, with events or announcements. How do you implement your new action plan? When should you have the kickoff? What obstacles do you face, and what opportunities are presenting themselves? Should you have another trash on the lawn day next year to compare your waste audit today to improvements of the future? These are some tips our educators have learned from experience. So document the audit. Have someone film or take pictures and make a video or slideshow that can be played for the school for future T.O.L.D. planners. Host the audit in a visible place and make colorful signs. Again, recruit art class, other students to join in on the effort. Designate tour guides or MCs to talk to and engage everyone who participates in or observes the event. Sing a recycling song, ask recycling trivia questions, walk them through the process, tell them your goals, ask them for thoughts, invite them to join the initiative and or offer rewards and incentives. Another important thing to remember is to set a rain date or snow date, bad weather, and or location. And again, wear old clothes, high boots, and or jumpsuits. Call the media. So if reporters or photographers attend the audit, get their contact information so you can call them with the results so that they may include them in the story. Involve as many classes as possible: art, science, economics, media production, sociology, and many more disciplines can be connected with waste themes. Ask the principal to make it mandatory for teachers to bring in their classes to the audit, or at least witness and better yet participate in the waste separation. Design and maintain clear, legible data sheets and collection processes. Make sure data collection is thoughtful and organized so you don't mess it up. Make data collection sheet representative of the categories you plan to examine. Have one or more designated data recorders so that nothing is lost or overlooked. Also, labeling the bags. After a bag is weighed and the volume is estimated, label the bag with the data and set aside. This will make it clear to volunteers which bags data has been recorded. Consider covering the audit site. Ask the athletic department if you can borrow a canopy in the event of sun or rain or snow. The canopy also gives the audit location some structure and increases visibility. Be sure to anchor the canopy securely to the ground in case of wind. Ask the maintenance office for assistance. This is how a typical T.O.L.D. is set up, as you can see here. The more students you have to help, the easier event will be. And again, NRRA does provide these materials. Some students may think it is gross, or when they first arrive on the scene, they may be skeptical about getting dirty. There are gloves and there are aprons available. And there are also many jobs for the event. So if someone really isn't interested in the sorting, they can be a data collector, or some students really like the job of monitoring, so telling people what goes into the bin and what doesn't belong to the bin. So there's really a job for everybody at this event. Thank you for joining us today to learn how to hold and run a T.O.L.D. event at your school. Please contact us if you have any questions or are interested in holding an event. Thanks so much for attending today, and if you have any questions, please contact us. And again, if you would like a certificate for participating in this training module, please email us info@nrra.net, and we will send along the evaluation for you to get your certificate.